Okay, I just wanted to share and wait a second for someone to hop on here. How you doing? Good morning. I'm gonna wait a minute, but there's something I want to share, and it's about my life. This is a story that I would like to share. I'm gonna start off saying this. One of the reasons I wanted to share this is because I see all the time, men, women, children, etc., go through things and they still live in it. Okay. So I thought, like I told my daughter yesterday, I said, something's been on my mind. And it's something that I have went through personally, my story. This is about my life. Okay. This ain't no made up. Okay. I can give years, dates, all that. I'm 57 and I'm from Kansas. I have 4 grown children. And this happened to me when I was 17, 17 years old, because I wasn't 18. And how I can remember that is um, I met my kid's father when I was 18. Okay, so that's why I say that. Here we go. I wanted to share this because I've been having dreams. I've been having dreams, and it actually started probably 2 weeks ago, maybe. I want to say 2 weeks ago. So this is what, November the 2nd. So 2 weeks ago from November the 2nd, 2023. Okay. And I know sometimes when you have dreams, dreams can be not of you or what you're going through. It could be somebody else is going through something. And I know sometimes bad dreams can mean something good happening or something that you may be lacking or missing in your life. I'm a very wise woman, okay? I like to say I'm getting older. I'm not old, okay? I do a lot of things that some younger women, because I'm a woman, I'm not addressing this towards a man, women's would do. So the dream has come to me 2 weeks from today's day, as I stated. And I didn't think nothing of it at first. And I told my daughter yesterday, my youngest daughter, that is, I didn't tell her what it was, but I asked her a question. Okay. And then I said why I said what I said. So I mentioned it again to someone else without saying what it was. I just mentioned the dream part and stuff. And it was a woman. I don't know her. She don't know me. Okay. And she, you know, I was on another social media site and live, and she told me that something spiritually is speaking to me and wanting me to say this. I promise you, I don't know this person at all. Okay. So this is not going to just be, uh, this is going to be more than me adding to the story. So it's going to probably be a part 1, 2, 3 till I finish saying what I want to say. And I want to start with this. And I'm going to start with this saying that I've been abused. I've been in an abusive relationship. I've been abused as a teenager. I've been abused as a child. I've been abused. I've been abused as a grown woman. Okay? All my life. And I ain't trying to say, all my life I had to fight. That's a true statement there. Because sometimes all people's life, they do have to fight. Oftentimes things happen to us when we are quiet, shy, timid, easy to get manipulated, or I don't know, the person's sick when they do it. It's a form of bullying. And I speak about that a lot because it's something that I experienced. I have a daughter that experienced this and everything. So the reason why it's going to be more episodes or parts to this story, which is my story, nothing that I'm making up. I can write a book, okay? It's because it's been weighing down on me. And also, I wanted to share it too because I just want to release it. Um, and maybe it'll go away, you know. Um, my kid's father knew about it. And actually, he's the one that saved me, okay? And I said he saved me because as he seen or saw some things I went through as a teenage woman at the age of 18, okay? I was getting treated like I probably was a young child, listen to your mama, listen to your daddy type of thing, quote, quote, quote. My dad did not abuse me, okay? But my mom did. Hmm. She did. Like I said, I didn't have a voice at all. And when I say I didn't have a voice, I mean literally to the point to where, say for instance, if your sister or brother asks, could they have some snacks, cookies, pies, cakes, or whatever they may ask for, I didn't. And if I didn't, I still didn't get. So you put that in a young child's mind of you ain't gonna get nothing until you ask for it, but it's almost like it's a scare tactic thing. So why would you ask? Because you don't know if you're gonna still get it. I'm saying it like this because this is how I can interpret it as an adult. Okay. I can remember back as far as when I was probably one. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I thought I was born in Arkansas, okay? And I brought this to my dad at probably about we in 2023, okay? So probably 3 to 4 months ago, okay? So this is what November, so we got so June, July of 2023. I brought this to my dad, and he told me why we went to Arkansas. Now, mind you, I was born in 1966, okay? My dad's from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Actually, he's from a small town that's no longer on the map. So I guess for whatever reason, I guess that was the next jurisdiction for that county or state. And I think it was like Helena or something like that. So my dad shared with me how he ended up in Kansas. Okay. So that's just a little snippet of how far back I can remember. Okay. I can remember when my mom's mother, me and my oldest sister, and cousin, which she was older than my sister, we all three used to stay at my grandmother. Well, my grandmother was raising my cousin. Me and my sister, hell, you might as well say she was raising us too because we was over there quite often. Okay. I was the baby because at the time it was just two of us. Me and my older sister is 10 months apart. Okay. And I would cry. Of course, like I said, I was a baby, 3, 4 years old, you know. I don't care if I was 10. You know, you miss your mom, you miss your dad, you're going to cry, right? One would say I was a crybaby, but I don't like labeling things. I was very emotional and a sensitive child, okay? Thinking about it. Bear with me. So, why would you call a person a crybaby? Everybody's feelings and emotions is different. Some is stronger, some is weaker, some is vulnerable, some people is just timid. And I don't like labeling people. Like, say for instance, saying you show is bad. You know how a person might say that towards a child, or get over here with your black self or your chocolate self, or just like people have a brown skinned child and they call it chocolate. I don't like that. That's my opinion, okay? Because that's labeling your child. When you label your child, this child is chocolate, this child might be a lighter color, and it's like you always labeling a child for being the color that they are. One of my sisters was, and she's under me. Beautiful color, but you label, okay? So I was called big eyes, crybaby, scaredy cat, bubble eyes. And when you get all that in your head as a child, that's being mean, cruel, bullyish type of thing, right? So I was, like I was saying, me and my sister and cousin, because I was about to get emotional, and I'm trying not to, but if I do, y'all just work with me on this, okay? I need to get this off of my chest. I'm not using this as no therapy session. I done been to counseling. I done been to therapy. I just been having a dream. And I feel I want to share this story. That's just like a person writing a book. Okay. So I was 3 to 4 years old, and I can remember. I'm just trying to let everybody know kind of how far back I can remember too. We used to call my mama's mother Mama. We called her dad, which is our grandpa. We called him Papa. He had half of a left arm because a hobo on a train cut my grandfather's arm off. So, honey, the way he did things, he just couldn't button his shoes or tie his shoes up and button his shirt. But putting on his clothes and cooking and stuff and driving, back then he had a steering wheel thing that was on his steering wheel, a knob that helped him steer or whatever. He even worked, okay? She took care of us, raised us, my mama's mother, that is. And we was over there to the point to where me and my older sister and cousin, my cousin lived with my grandmother, which was her son's child. I went to school on the bus, Head Start, and she forgot to put some underclothes on me, some panties, that is, okay? So my teacher at the time, the school I went to, they had the restrooms inside the classroom. And I went, and I don't know how she ended up finding out. Maybe because I was in there too long. I didn't want to come out, being kind of like shy. And she found out I didn't have no underclothes. She went to a store. Matter of fact, my friend I went to grade school, middle school, and high school with live up the street. Now the store is like a little 7-Eleven's corner store, whatever. But it was a store, and some kind of way they had panties in there, right? So I got the panties on. This is me recapping on how far back I can remember. I'm saying that because I want people to say, what is she talking about? To get to the story. Me and my older sister was always over at grandmother's house. And I think when I would turn 30 something, I asked the cousin that I mentioned, but she was older than us, why was we always over mama's house? My mom's mother passed away. I had to been in the third grade, I want to say. So she told me, of course, when you young, you don't know. You just thinking probably, I didn't think nothing then, okay? But I remember, and me and my older sister remember this. Then as we got older, once grandma passed away, my mom's mother, my dad's mom, we used to go over there a lot. Now, my dad worked. He retired from Santa Fe Railroad. The last 19 months of it, it converted over to Burlington Railroad. So we had to move from our Kansas to Lincoln, Nebraska, so he can retire. That, to me, one would probably say, well, where is your father providing? But also, a little bit of it, he had 2 jobs. My dad was married young. My mom was young when she had me and my sister. She was 16 when she got pregnant. My dad and her was teenagers, and had me when she was 17. Because, like I said, me and my sister 10 months apart. But we was always over my dad's mom's house too. It was 4 of us, then my brother. My mom had 4 girls, and our other cousins, which is my dad's children, his oldest brother. They would be over there too. Sometimes we'd spend the night, sometimes we would come, sometimes we would stay, but we was over there often. My grandmother was taking care of 10 kids because it was our 5, and then 4, 9, and then one more 10. Okay, so she took care of 10 kids. 5, 4, 1. And she had a sofa bed, she had her bed, and then she had a room with a bed. So all of us was laying in beds. Okay, we went on no floors or nothing. And I mean, she had blankets she made. She was a homemaker, cook. She had a big garden. So I'm just gonna move up and start telling the story. I just was giving a little intro. As I stated, abused. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I was mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, verbally abused, tortured. I was. Me. Okay? Why? I don't know why. I was not. I'm not leaving nothing out. A bad child. Disobedient child. If my mom said, for example, I want this house clean when I get back home, or y'all gonna get your behinds tore up. I didn't understand, and still don't, why back then these family members or parents or whatever, I remember they said, if you did something, the next door neighbor, the person down the road, this, that, and all that, whoop you. Why would it be that? That's abuse, okay? So, but to say this house better be clean by the time I get back, or y'all gonna get your ass tore up. I did not want to fit in that category, okay? If I did dishes, my older sister did clothes, and my sister did the living room because my older sister, she had skin problems, so she couldn't do dishes, and that's not no lie there. I'm gonna go in there and do your chores and yours chores too. I don't want to get beat, not whipped or whooped or spanked. Beat. Who does this to their children? And I'm speaking out on this because I can. This is my truth. I'm speaking out on this because of things that happened to me in my life. I'm speaking out on this because, like I said, I've been having dreams. I don't know why. Because when you feel that you have moved past certain things in your life, something is haunting me. And I think this one particular thing that's haunting me because I never talked about it. Never. I mentioned it to my kid's father, but he still don't know the whole. He didn't. He didn't. He's in heaven. Know the whole thing. And I held this in. So that was 40 years ago. Yeah. 40 years ago. I feel like I raised myself or had to grow up too soon. I can remember as far back as 10 years old, babysitting my sisters and brothers, going over to my aunt's house, watching my cousins, and she was mean. Mean. And I ain't talking about the, what you call that, Cinderella mother mean. I'm talking about mean. She was abusive as well. Hmm. Sometimes, I used to cry. And as I mentioned earlier, my older sister used to say, because they called me Lisa, come here, Lisa, come up here with me, to comfort me. I was the baby, as I said, 3 to 4 years old, okay? So she had to be 4 because we're 10 months apart. Who tells someone if you don't go back outside and get a bigger switch, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to whoop you, you're going to get your ass tore up? Who says that? Who says that? So that was 10. At the age of 14, I can remember always being responsible. Back then, they had jobs what they call CETA, okay, summer jobs. And me and my sister would work at a church in the daycare after school for like 3 hours. And then in summertime, we work at this, it's called KNI, Kansas Neurological Institution in Kansas. And they had disabled people. I don't like saying retarded and all that stuff. Disabled, okay? Kids, adults. We did that. And we would work like probably 8 to 2 or 3. And if I'm not mistaken, back then, minimum wage was $2.75. Okay. My dad, we had a Snoopy piggy bank, and it was real tall. And when it got full up to the top, it was 4 girls. My mom, we adopted my brother when he was 5, 6 months old. I was 12. And his life was taken in 2011. He was murdered. $14 working. The piggy bank, daddy took us to a bank in Topeka called Commerce Bank. We opened that piggy bank. It was plastic. It was a Snoopy piggy bank, white with long black ears. And he divided it amongst all of us. And we opened a bank account. My dad took us there. When I got paid, my money would go into my bank. And back then, even though we was minors, as long as our parents was with us in the vehicle, they knew my dad, of course, because he'd been banking there forever and still do. We could get our money. But some kind of way, my money got taken out of my account. Sometimes you have that person that, oh, I remember seeing you up here type of thing. I trust that you are you, right? When I reached high school, I started skipping school and running away. My dad's mom hid me out for 14 days. I was a good child. You see this dimple? My great grandmother used to put a quarter or a nickel in there. It was so deep, I was a child. And they used to say, "You a good child." And I was. Like right to this day, I don't mess with nobody. I kept running away, kept skipping school. And was I scared of what was going to happen? I was. But it's almost like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If I don't do it, I'm going to get beat. If I do it, I'm going to get beat. I was tired. I wanted to be not in the household no more. I kept running away. And I remember one time I ran away, and let me tell you, this is true. I would run away over to people's house that I knew. I wouldn't just like, but except for one time, I'm gonna get to that. It would be somebody that I knew, and my mom might have known them or did know them. School would get out. My dad would take me to school. He'd give me money, either money for a bus pass or um, money to get on the bus. High school, okay? I went to a really good school. Out of all of my siblings, I was the only one going to this school. My sister, she went, but she didn't go long because that's her story. I could tell it all. So this one guy, I'm gonna just say his last name was Tucker, and my cousin, his name started with a J. I'm just say it like that. Knew him, and I went over to his house, and he tried to force himself on me, and he told me if I don't give him have sex with him, okay, or do whatever he wanted me to do, that I had to leave. And I didn't do it, but he was trying to, you know, he didn't like rape me, but he was like talking like, if you don't do what I want you to do, you're gonna have to leave type of thing. I'm just being honest. I ain't gonna say the man raped me. So I don't know if he went to the bathroom or anything. I ended up leaving. And the money that my dad would give me, sometimes I would walk home because I was planning this. And when I planned it in my mind, I wanted to have some money to do this so I can at least eat or what have you, catch the bus or what have you. I was a walking sister. I was young. I was tall. I was slender. I wasn't no obese child going to school. I was on basketball teams and played basketball in um, grade school, middle school, and high school. Straight facts. Two of my cousins was my coach when I was in middle school. So I left his house. And my cousin's name start with a J. I guess for whatever reason, my mom, was asking people, have they seen me, heard from me, or anything like that. And he kind of knew about, I want to say, about him and I. I never forget, it was snowing, cold. And I slept outside in the back of the building office on the stairs. I had hat, gloves, mittens, and I slept outside. I sat outside in the back of a building in the snow. Actually, it wasn't snowing at first. It was cold, but it ended up starting to snow. I didn't give a damn. I was tired of being abused mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, verbally, and tortured. This is the beginning of me coming out. This is my story. If I come back on here tomorrow, I could tell you exactly what I said today. Okay? I remember going over to this girl's house. Her name was Lori. I knew her. My mom knew her. But it was the point of people not knowing where I was. You get what I'm saying? I would run away over to people's house, but who's to think that you would be over that person's house? You follow me? So I went over her house and I started going over people's house because it was cold out. I slept outside in the cold on some stairs and it started snowing, but it was already cold. I'm skipping a part, but I'm going to tell that too. I was tired and I wasn't a bad child because I skipped school. I was looking for help. I was wanting to get out. I wanted to, I didn't understand what was going on. And it was almost like I had to be a little bit older, because I was young when it happened, to do something or try to do something despite the outcome. I'm looking at a picture on my wall, and it's a tree. It's got I could turn you around so you can see it. Mm-hmm. Won't nobody think I'm crazy. If you wonder what I'm looking at this. I keep looking at this. There's a story behind that. I keep looking at it because when I turn away from the camera, I'm trying to keep my composure, okay? I wanted to escape what was happening to me. I didn't want to be in the home. I didn't want to be in the family. Despite me having a good dad, he didn't know what was going on. And right to this day, I don't know if anyone said anything. I haven't. And I say this because I'm saying this because this is my story, but I don't want to tell my dad because he's older. Okay? Me and my oldest sister, her too, we was being abused. We was abused by my mom's baby brother. And if you see me looking up sometimes, this is what she do, and I do it too. We like looking outside at the sky. And the reason why we like looking outside at the sky is because when we was about, I had to be 8, 9, we couldn't go outside. And our mom and dad wouldn't be at home. My mom and dad was in like bowling leagues. We was active in church. And why is your parents not there? We went to Sunday school, morning church, evening, afternoon. Don't let it be the first Sunday. Singing conventions, eating at church in the basement, stuff, that type of stuff. My dad was an usher. My mom was in the ladies' choir rehearsal. We was in youth choirs. We did our speeches on Easter, Christmas, all of that. This is me painting this picture. Oftentimes people think just because you go to church or was raised in the church or this way, that way, because I'm not going to fast forward. I'm sticking right in this area of my story. And as I tell the story and proceed to go ahead forward in my life, it's going to lead to something else. So she look at the sky, I look at the sky, we look up at the ceilings and stuff like that. And like I said, I turned it around so y'all can see. I see this beautiful picture. The tree, it has birds in it. I don't know if y'all saw that. It's like my daughter is a tapestry. She got this for me, and I love it, even though I want to move it. But I love looking at that picture. And I say this. Why would anyone abuse? This is something I'm having a problem with. Someone that is a sweet, loving, concerned, respectful child, not disobedient, always did what you were supposed to do. But because you was easy and timid and shy and quiet and you didn't have a voice, and I tell a lot of people this right now, the way I'm talking, I'm having chills. My children's father saved me. He gave me a reason to live. He gave me a reason to speak. He gave me a reason to, he listened to me. And despite how mentally, emotionally, physically abused that I was, he helped me. He helped me. One would probably say he was an older man. Oh, you married somebody because of your father. Oh, he mowed you. No, the hell he didn't. No, I'm not a liar. I'm not going to sit up there and lie. Now, if he molded me and controlled me, I would say that. He did not. My kid's father didn't. That's probably the only true love that I ever had. And he's not here. Only true love. And again, one would probably say, you contradicting. I had a dad. He was a provider. I had a mom. She was a provider. But just because you have two parents in the household, does that mean there's love there? Does that mean that you was loved? And despite there was no signs to my dad to know that known this that I can recall. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not icing the cake for him. When you don't see something, how is there any way to address it? You get what I'm saying? So even when it happened, I was too shy to say something or too, I don't know if you want to call it shy, but just didn't speak up on it. Didn't know. I didn't have a voice. I did not. I didn't. None whatsoever. And my sisters now not tease me. I don't say tease now, but they say Lisa did what Mama said. Lisa was a good one. Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. And yes, I was. Oh Jesus. And so a recap on this, I've been having dreams. And as I sit right now talking about this, I'm not talking about this to be sad. I'm not talking about this to feel any kind of way. I already feel some kind of way by having that dream. And my daughter, she was right here. I could ask her without even coaching her, what did I tell you about my dream? And I had my head turned or whatever, and she'd tell you. I told her this. No one else, I didn't say this to no one else. I brought it up to my daughter yesterday, which was the 1st of November. Okay. 1st of November 2023. I mentioned this to my daughter, and I said this to someone else, as I said earlier, and this person don't know me, I don't know this person, and they said why, and they said that I do need to talk about it because it's my past, but it's coming up in my dreams, and it ain't nothing like, oh, you just making it up, a dream is a dream. No, this is actually like it's happening. I see it. It's plain because it happened. And so there's a lot to it. When I was 17, almost 18, but I wasn't quite 18, I knew this person because it used to be three of us. I'm going to say it like that. I never went nowhere despite running away, but still I went over people's house. Going to a club or anything like that, a house party, if I had went, it was always my sister, my cousin, and her friend, all three of us. I would never go inside a club by myself. I knew this person, and I was talking to this guy. This is before my kid's husband, my kid's dad. He was my husband, and he had to come and tell me that my boyfriend or guy friend, however people want to dress it, had to do duty. He was in the military, so he had to do CQ, 24 hours up, securing, being like a guard, I guess you could call it, or CQ, they call it. Anybody know about military life, they know what I'm talking about. He came to tell me this. As I stated, I knew the person, but you don't know nobody. I knew of him, okay? And he was under the influence I ain't gonna say drunk, but I smelt it, okay? And it was like, okay, I was in a hotel, okay? Here's the table and here's the bed. And literally, probably about this much space to get in between because it was one of those inexpensive hotels. It wasn't no hole in the wall, but it wasn't no Holiday Inn or Ramada Inn. Okay, back then I don't even know what the name of it was. One of those generic ones. He came in there to tell me that, and I was like, okay. He knocked me down or slammed me down on the bed, and I remember what I had on. I had on a lime green shirt. It had some letters on it, a white belt, some green and white pants. I forget Einstein. There was a store called Einstein. It just came to me. I promise you, in Topeka, Kansas, and it was by Stormartville Hospital. That's where I was born at. I was tall, so my mom would have to take me to the mall. She couldn't just buy me stuff at a regular store like that. But, or as time went on, my kid's father or myself will buy my things. I had gotten so bad to where it wasn't bad, but I didn't even want, I wanted to buy for myself and do for myself because why am I getting anything from anyone that don't care or love me? That's just how it was. Very responsible. I always have been. He knocked me down on the bed or threw me down, however you want to say it. But this is the truth. And he straddled himself across me so I couldn't get up. And I was squirming and stuff, moving. I had on some white tennis shoes because the outfit was like a white and green theme I had going on. He pulled my belt open because it was one of those belts that clicked, and he snapped it and he broke my belt. And I was trying to fight him off. And he said these words to me: bitch, if you don't shut up and stop, he said he's going to beat me. And despite him saying that, I had in my mind, just like I said earlier, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If I don't get beat from being good or not doing this, or I'm going to get beat if I do it or whatever, So it's like, okay, I had that mindset. So I started like screaming or moving and stuff, and that aggravated the hell out of him. So he took his fist and bust me in my mouth. He beat me. He had me pinned down. He was straddled across me. And he broke my belt, as I said, and he tried to unbutton my pants and my zipper. You already done hit me in my mouth. You done cussed me out. What else is you gonna do next? Suffocate me? Choke me? Okay. I went limp. And I say this, I went limp. Like, oh, like, to get strength, to kick him in his groins, Okay, two things, or maybe three. If you kick somebody in their groins, or stomp on their foot, or gouge their eyes, they gotta react to that, right? God was with me because I got the strength. Some kind of way, I went limp. Probably went limp to. I'm just trying to like paraphrase it for real. I went limp to get the strength, and as I'm doing this right now, I just feel like I got goosebumps. I swear I do. To get the strength to get him off of me. Because as I stated, I don't know if he was going to choke me, suffocate me, or whatever. He could have done this. He already hit me in my damn mouth and it was bleeding. Tore my belt, broke my belt and my button off my pants. So here I am. Once the buckle was broken, once I screamed. I kicked him in his groins. I don't know if he clicked to his senses or felt like somebody next door might have heard. But he got his ass up off of me. And he said these words to me. He said, "You tell somebody I'm going to kill you." He said, "If you tell someone I'm going to kill you." When he left out of that hotel room, I didn't think to call the office, 911, or the guy that I was talking to. Because I believed that he probably would have killed me. No, not probably. I believed that he was going to kill me because I believed that. Mind you, I'm 17. So I left there, and this is where it gets scary. And the only thing I could think of, he had to have been following me. I didn't continue to stay in that hotel. I moved to another one far out. My sister, she was to get on here. She'll tell the hotel I'm about to say was called Best Western. She know where it's at. Me and her we used to live in the same town together. Not at this point in time, but her husband was in the military, and so was mine, like his father. This is fast forwarding it, but that's why I say this. You know exactly where it's at. It was outer, not in the city, but there was things, wasn't in no country, but it wasn't in the city. He had to have followed me because he came out there and was circling around my room. And the only thing I could think too is he might have asked my guy friend at the time, where's such, boo, 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 boo. That's another thing. He brought him out there because, as I said, he told me if I tell someone he was going to kill me. Okay? I thought it was a setup. He beat it on the door, my guy friend. He said, "Let me in." And the only thing I thought in my mind at that time, I didn't want him to come in. He was with him. I didn't know if it was set up. I didn't know if they was going to kill me. I don't know if he told. I just know I wouldn't let him in. I wouldn't let him in. He didn't get in either. Because as I said, I don't know if it was a setup. Okay? I called the office. I didn't give a damn. You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me. Just like I said, you're going to beat me. You're going to beat me. You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me. And you hit me in my mouth. And I went limp. But the thing that went across my mind, and I know this was nothing but God, he going to try to kill me, suffocate me. I got to get him off of me. My story, my truth. 17 years old. So as I said, I moved out to another place. called the office because he kept circling the room. And he said he had a gun. He had a gun. This is part one. Why has everyone, except for my kids' father, hurted me? Why? When I met my kid's father, I met the love of my life. And I think this is happening because I have been grieved or mourned. No one knows this. He's not living more. Maybe this is what he wanted me to do. He's the only one to save me. He's the only one to love me. My kid's father. I don't care. It's the truth. And when he died, I did not get to mourn. I did not get to grieve. And I did not have, here we go again, no one. I needed to do this. And I believe he wanted me to do this. I feel this. The lady told me yesterday, she said something is a spiritual thing. And it is. It's a spiritual thing. My oldest sister told me one time, I was on the live church thing. This is when COVID happened, and it was in September 2020. I had just got off the live, and she called me on Messenger. I just have a good memory, everybody. I'm not making this up. And so she wanted me to pray for her daughter's son because he had to have an operation on his spine because I don't know if it was scoliosis or something. He had to have surgery. And I think at the time he was 12 or 13. And she said these words to me. You notice I called you. If you on here, sister, comment. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said these words. I said, I'm not acting holier than thou. This is what I said. She said, stop saying that. She said, you notice I called you? And I said, I feel like I am chosen. I feel this way sometimes. And she said, she said you was like this ever since you was born. Like, I guess you could say gifted or whatever. Quiet, shy, not disobedient, listen, mind. If God could sit down here and tell everybody the truth about it, he will tell the truth. But because you're quiet, you're shy, you're timid, you get beat because of that, bullied, mistreated. And I tell my kids, their dad seen it or saw it. They saw it. He was my safe haven. I got 4 kids by him. They're all grown. He's in the army. And I said, he gave me a good life. I didn't run from it because he helped me. He was he saw things. And you know, one would probably say, oh, he probably would by what you were saying. No, he took me away from what he saw. He took me away from what he saw. I'm an hour in. I'm going to come back on this evening and pick up where I left off at. I don't know how long this story is going to go. Share, hit the notification. Let someone know that is out there going through something. I ain't finished with the story. And I'm going to share the outcome. Well, one will probably say, you're not past it. I want to move past it. Okay? And these dreams. And now that as I'm talking about it, I'm trying to, I guess you could say, put the pieces to the puzzle. I'm having these dreams that 2 weeks from as today, I said earlier, and my kid's father not being here, he was the one that saved me. And I'm thinking, this is how I want to interpret it, that he wants me to share this. He always was my cheerleader. He always rooted for me because he knew how I was. He gave me a special name, and it was a name that he wanted to give me because how he felt about me. And so I'm thinking, as I talk about this is him coming to me in my dream to tell this, to tell me to tell the story. I can get back on here later on and say what I said today, right now. How I escaped my attacker, over abuse, mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually abused. There's a lot. And I share these tears because as I'm speaking about it, I didn't get to grieve or mourn. And that's probably why I'm doing this. So, Ohana Mini family, come and listen to my story. This is my journey. Grandmother 5. I'll be back on this evening. I ain't gonna forget where I left off at, because if I do, I just can rewind it and listen. I know exactly where I left off at. It's gonna be a part 2, probably 3, 4, 5, 6. Hell, this is probably gonna get me motivated and encouraged to write a book about how I escaped my attacker and abuse. And all of this is like wrapped up together that led for me to be attacked, abused, all this stuff. Or from abuse to being attacked, my life being the way it is, even as an adult. I'm not going to leave nothing out. Who did it to me? Because when you try to protect people, you're not releasing what happened to you. So I will be back on. Okay.